Hey, y'all, T-Ham141 here. I'm Tracy. Welcome to the live stream tonight. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and just let you know I've got merch. I've got all sorts of cool designs on shirts and like 60 or 70 different products over at Redbubble. I'll put the link up here. And I've got books. If you go to thand141homestead.com, you will find each and every one of my books. I sell, they are Amazon quality. They are printed on Amazon KDP. A big shout out to all my friends in the homesteading community. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube. If you haven't already, go ahead and click that like button, that subscribe button, and that little notification bell so that you get notified every time I come out with a new piece of content. And don't be afraid to comment and let me know what you would like to see on my channel. All right, guys, it's about that time. Let's get into the live. Welcome to T-Ham141 Homestead, the Homestead Centric Show. Woo woo! Raise the roof. Welcome, Suzanne, and Marty Lynn is here. I had 4 people in here a few minutes ago. I think they might not like the commercial that I start with. It's a minute 16, kind of tells you everything I got. And because of everything going on this morning, I thought that the one about my books and merch was necessary, because this morning YouTube, in its infinite wisdom, sent me a notice. Well, they didn't send me a notice, but I tried to, on tomorrow's video, I tried to upload certain merch to show, and it said that my shop was not able to be displayed in the United States. So if you don't see it on YouTube, you can always go to redbubble.com, T-Hand141 Homestead /redbubble.com, and check it out. Hey, Tammy, how's it going? And check out all of my merch. Some of my best work. The books are you can find on the webpage, T-Ham141homestead.com. And I appreciate all the support I've gotten out of. My most famous one, or my best-selling shirt, sticker, whatever, it's pretty funny. It's woke, the definition of woke. So yeah, and I don't own that one, so I know it's not me buying it. But I went through, oh my goodness, 2 hours, 3 hours talking to YouTube. YouTube sent me to Spreadshop. Spreadshop sent me back to YouTube. YouTube said, have you tried, we want you to try to restart your browser and your computer. I tried that, and I told her, I said, I'm going to lose you if I shut my computer off. Oh, no, don't worry about it. Well, 2 minutes after I shut my computer off, about 5 minutes afterwards, I got back on there, and at 2 minutes after, she said, well, it looks like you're away from your computer. I have to go assist other customers, and left. But apparently they are working on it. I can, in Canada, I can still sell merch, and I did manage to link my Teespring account, which does not have all of my merch, to YouTube. So I at least have some of it up there. I'm going to have to get everything bounced back, but what a nightmare. I've only sold a couple things from YouTube. Mostly my sales are Redbubble. But yeah, that was just way stressful. And then I was in the middle when I found this out. I had just uploaded, or I was working on editing the video for tomorrow. Well, then somehow I got confused. Me get confused? Really? Never. And I thought today was Friday. So I was in a rush. It was 4 o'clock when I finally hit public on my video. And then I'm like, wait, today's Thursday. I've got to go live tonight. Took that video down and scheduled it for tomorrow's release when it's supposed to be released. Oh, I tell you, it is crazy. But yeah, big shout out to all of the members of my channel. For 99 cents a month or $1.99. If your credit card won't do 99, you can be a member of the channel, and that really helps us out big time. Yesterday I went out and first thing in the morning and I cut a bunch of wood, bunch of firewood, because it got chilly. It was down in the lower 50s night before last, and it got chilly. So that brings us to our topic for today. How prepared for winter are you? There is at the top of the live chat, there is a what do you call those things? Oh yeah, a poll. There is a poll. How ready for winter are you? With 5 votes so far. 10% are 40% of the people are at 10%, and 60% of the people are at 50% ready for winter. It is August. The dog days of summer. Summer's dragging on. We're getting all sorts of weather. Thunderstorms. Be praying for Susan Gillette, or Susan E. Goulet. She is under severe thunderstorm warning. Hopefully she's going to stay safe. Marhy from Little Homestead by the Beach says, I'll say just 10% because I'm ready pretty much food and wood wise, but mentally never. Yes. I have got to say, I'm stoked about the garden this year. I've already had several small harvests of stuff starting to ripen. I got blackberries starting to ripen now. But mentally, I'm not ready to hunker down with the snow. It's just not in me right there, even though I'm fighting the compulsion to just wake up and sit in front of the boob tube back there behind me. But that is an ongoing problem with me. Let's see here. But yeah, all I have to do to really be ready for winter, hunting season is coming. I got harvest season is beginning. For the garden, foraging season is starting for me for the blackberries. I see the tree across the street is full of choke cherries. I need to go pick some choke cherries and make some choke cherry jam. By the way, speaking of across the street, congratulations to Alex, Misty, and the kids. They found their first eggs on their homestead from their chickens this morning. That is awesome. That's always exciting. I don't care if you've had chickens for 20 years. When a new set of pullets start laying eggs, it's always an exciting thing. And they're getting ready for winter over there. But that is always an exciting thing. Let's see here. As far as winter goes, I want to harvest a bunch of apples. I want to make some crab apple jelly. Very nutritious jelly. And crab apples, or any kind of sour apple, or any kind of apple, I guess, but in the sour, more bitter apples has more pectin, so you don't have to use pectin to make your crab apple jelly or your apple jelly. And I got some weeding in the garden done. I was going to do more, but I decided to do the bucking up of the logs to make firewood, because it's getting close to that time, and I got to clean out the wood shed, because during the summer, when the wood shed isn't holding wood, that section of the wood shed for some reason attracts junk. I got like 3 big garbage bags full of plastic bottles that I have to take to the recycling center. I got four bags in here I need to take out. Crazy when you are lazy. It's crazy when you're lazy. And so after harvesting season, I have to get my firewood done before mid-September. Archery season will be starting soon. Now is the time when I'll take and check my bow, make sure the string is good and all that good stuff. It should be. I'll wax it up, and I will start going out and shooting 1 arrow a day. I mean, I'll make sure all my pins are on. One from like 10 yards, one from 20 yards, one from 40 yards, or 30 maybe, and then 40 yards. And then after that, I will go out, choose a random distance, and shoot 1 arrow, because that way my arms will not get fatigued holding the bow back. It's an old time bow. It's a compound, but it doesn't have, I mean, I think it's got 60% lead off. Some of them today have 80 to 90% lead off, where you're not holding back that much. But once you start getting fatigued in your arms, you start picking up bad habits. And quite honestly, when you're hunting with bow, your first shot is the one that counts. And if your first shot connects good, if you get a good clean kill on the first shot, you don't need a second. Also, my muzzle loader, I need to figure out if this muzzle loader is going to do me for this season, because that's a deer with archery. Oh, that's okay, Tammy. You have a great day and stay safe out there. I have to see if this muzzle loader is going to do me accuracy wise, which means I have to be able to shoot a decent size group with it. And because that for the global gardening and homesteading contest, that's where I get a lot of my meat. I haven't hunted in quite a few years. I meant to go out last year and never made it out, but this year I'm going to go out, because for years and years, that's what I got most of my meat from. And that venison is top of the line. Beef never tasted so good. But so that's all in preparing for winter, but I have to wait until the season. Regular season with rifles starts October 23rd. And very shortly after that opening day, I believe the global gardening and homesteading thing stops right after that. But I haven't really done a whole lot of poundage wise. I'm just starting to see. I got another zucchini that probably tomorrow or the next day I'll go out. That'll be 3 zucchinis that I've gotten. But now keep in mind, I am only one person, and I have a pantry full of things that my wife and I preserved that she would say, "Oh, I'm hungry for squash tonight." So she would cook squash. Or oh, we're gonna do steak and beans and stuff, and she would be using the pantry. Whereas I have fallen into the slump of boxed meals. Today, for my meal, I ate a what is that joke? According to my pants, I'm a 38 by 34, but according to not Smith and Wesson, according to the box food, I'm a family of 4. So yeah, I ate I made up a box thing of Salisbury steak and gravy. Oh, it's delicious. And it gives me what I need. I do need to start eating more vegetables. I am eating vegetables straight out of the garden. And I know I should be weighing it, but oh well. But then getting ready for winter is one of those things that everyone has to do. I don't care where you live. When I lived in Florida, winter is a cold, rainy season. Now, it might not be as cold as it is in Alaska or the Yukon, but it is cold. And down there where you're high temperatures all summer long, your blood's thinner, and the cold still hits you quite hard, and the dampness. Whew. But so no matter where you are, you have to prepare for winter. So what are you guys doing to prepare for winter right now? We have 60% of people are about 50% ready for winter, and 10% is 40% of people are saying that they're 10% ready. There's a lot to go now. Like in Marie-Lynn's case, she has her bunnies for winter meat. And that's an all year long thing. I cannot wait to get my sheds. They've been postponed again for the simple reason the Amish guy, he's having a hard time taking care of orders. He's got a lot of orders because he's awfully well priced. And he's awfully good priced, but he's got a hay, and he's got other crops that he does too. And when he builds these sheds, he's got a sawmill right there on the property. Trying to think ahead so I don't rip up by needing small stuff. Yes, little things. Find sales on Kleenex. Okay. I am very picky. I cannot and will not use it. Poor Wendy. she wouldn't. She would have loved to use the Kleenex with the moisturizer in it, but I couldn't because I would just not thinking I would grab a Kleenex to clean my glasses, and it would smear all over my glass. Now, I'll try to do another frozen meal this weekend. Yes. Now, once I do get the sheds, I will be able next year. I'll probably sometime this winter start doing the rabbits. Once I get the chicken coop going, and next spring, I would like to do turkeys and possibly some meat birds. My big effort this year is going to be going into venison because I want some venison. And hey, Life in the Valley, how's it going? Welcome. What are you doing this to start getting ready for winter? I know it's hard to believe because I'm sweating here. I've got a fan on me. It is 80 degrees outside. In fact, if you type WEATHER and then your space and then your zip code, then Nightbot will tell us what the weather is where you're at. Weather for Ava, the town, it's not specifics. Conditions are partly cloudy, temperature 76. The wind is blowing from the south-southwest at 7 miles per hour. And the current humidity is 57%. Okay, I have 79 on my thing up here, which is weird because this is usually pretty accurate. You can also type in !share, and that will post a link to your channel so that people can find you. They can look up your channel, and if it's something that they like, they can subscribe. That would be wonderful. But it's hard to start thinking about winter, but I've got to start now that it's starting to cool down a little bit. We had this little cool spell. I really want to get my wood in so I don't have to worry about that at all during hunting season. I have to get my shop closed in, get it enclosed, run done for the chickens, get my sawmill shed closed in, and build a dry shed for all my tractors and toys. Nice. What wonderful problems to have. You know, I mean, and it seems like the way you're talking, your shop is already built. It's just got to get closed in. That's fairly simple to do depending on how you're doing it. Enclosed run done for the chickens. That's Homestead Basics 101. Yeah. Sawmill and shed closed in just so you don't get the blowing snow blowing in and you got to dig out anytime you want to do some lumber. And a dry shed for all your tractors and toys. That is nice. Also trying to slowly build up my ice fishing gear. And yeah, I have to get wood up to the cabin out of the field. So your wood's already down. Is it bucked up already into round blocks and split? Because if so, you're way ahead of the game. I have to split this tomorrow. You'll see a video. It was a little longer than I wanted it to be, but I wanted to income. There are some people who do really enjoy watching someone cut wood with a chainsaw, or they actually want to see the grapple on my tractor work. And Yeah. So I try to get a mix of both of them in. The people who want to fast forward through that stuff can fast forward through it. Um, Everything all board and batten, have to mill everything in. Nice. Nice. I was going to get a mill, but Trevor told me, he said, unless you really know what you're doing when milling lumber, he said, Tracy, you'll just take and start. I've got some trees. Most of the trees on my property, I've got hemlock, cherry, birch, hard and soft maple. I also have a lot of beech, which I use for firewood. But he said, Tracy, you'll end up taking $1,000 log and destroying it and come out with stuff that you can't use if you're not careful. So I'm holding off right now. Within 5 minutes of my house, there are 3 Amish sawmills. So I can get stuff. Oh, everything is split in season for 2 years. That's beautiful. We're about a year ahead. This stuff we dropped the beginning of last spring, not this past spring, but the spring before, or that winter, is a lot of it. And then we have a decent sized pile of stuff that Trevor just dropped 2 trees, and we got a huge log. Hey, Canadian Family Life, welcome. Yeah, it's the only way to do it. Now, I also have blowdowns everywhere. So I can go collect blowdowns, and a lot of them are very dry, as long as they aren't punky. Hey, Canadian Family Life, welcome. Also, we had a couple trees that we dropped. Was it not this past winter, but the winter before? Because we try to stay at least a year ahead. I'd like to do it a little longer, let them dry for at least a year, and then a lot of it I don't burn. I only burn 12 face cord a year in my little cabin here, so a lot of it can dry as it's sitting in the shed. Um, but some of it that we dropped started growing. It had leaves growing on it from this spring. Apparently, the hinge was thick enough that it allowed it to grow some leaves. I cut a lot of dead standing ash in the winter off the swamp once everything is all for. Yeah. I'm hoping to be able. I got to clear my lane. Trevor and I, once winter's here, the trees go dormant. We'll try to get back there, and even maybe this fall, we'll try to get back there and drop a bunch of trees, so that it's at least down, and have maybe a log pile for next year. Oh, nice. In the greenhouse and shop, I plan to use slabs off the mill. Nice. Yeah. I built a lot of nice things from wood slab wood. When you have a round tree and you're cutting, some people might not know this. When you have a round tree and you're cutting square boards out of the round tree, some of your first cuts, have that they're rounded on one side and flat on the other. That's called slab wood. And a lot of places will give you free slab wood. I've built raised beds out of them before back in Port Leyden. I built a retaining wall for a small bank out of them before. I've built all sorts of camps and stuff when I was a kid out of stuff like that. And it's good lumber. It just doesn't look. It's hard to get slab wood to fit together correctly unless you cut it with the intention of using it for siding, if that makes sense, because you'll have a piece that starts out this wide and then somewhere it might go down to this wide and that wide. Trees don't grow uniformly like that. So unless you're actually planning on using the slab wood for a siding, and when you mill it, it's hard to get good slab wood. But yeah, it is. Today is the 3rd of August, and I'm already talking about getting ready for winter because it's so important. When you live, especially when you live in a place like I do, where you have maybe 120 days of growing season, that whole spring, summer, and fall is preparing for winter. Whether you're planting seeds, harvesting, like I'm starting to get into the harvesting. There are people that have harvested a lot so far. I am not. I've come to realization I am just not a great gardener. But I have these spots now out by where the chicken coop's going to be, and between the woodshed and the pig pen, that I'm going to be putting in a traditional garden. Right now I do use the Back to Eden garden, and I'm going to compare which does better. Live edge, and that too, you have to cut the butt flare out of the log to get straight slabs and to avoid, absolutely. Because trees, I mean, if they were all even telephone pole trees, have a flare at the bottom. They grow out big around, and then they're milled to a uniform dimension. And I would rather have someone who knows what they're doing mill my lumber for me, because quite frankly, I have more money than intelligence. That didn't sound right, but I really meant it. I would rather support someone who knows how to do that in providing a living for themselves, rather than me, cut down. Like Trevor said, you miscut $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 cherry. Hey, Peter, welcome. You miscut a big cherry, and you could cost yourself a lot of money. Up here in the Northeast, we have the black cherry trees, which are awesome. They are wonderful for cabinets and veneer and stuff like that. Let's see, what do we got here? Weather for Gravely. Conditions are sunny, 104 degrees. Oh, my Lanta. The wind is blowing from the southwest at 4 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 31. Wow, Peter, you jumped into the fire, my friend. Hey, Lynn, how's it going? Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you stopping by. Ain't no grass growing under your feet. most homesteaders are very, very busy people. I refuse to be. If I have someplace I need to be, I'll do my best to be there. But I do most of my work between when I wake up at 7:30 and 1 or 2 o'clock. I can imagine you're an international traveler. You just got home from New York, up Watertown. That's like 2 hours from me. Yeah, that is a trade-off. That is a trade-off. I've always said that if I can add clothes if it's cold, I can add clothes on and stay warm. But I can only take so many off without getting arrested. Looney's, New York. Hey, nice. Where is that? That's got to be fairly close. I am in Ava, which is just north of Rome, New York. Uh, right, just a Ocala Colony, New York. Okay. I will have to look that up and find out where it is. That's all right, Jamie. That's all right. We all know the problems with spell check. I go through it all the time. I was writing out the blog Tuesday morning that's over on my website, tham141.com, homestead.com. And Grammarly was just driving me batty. Oh, nice. Nice. I like the cold way better. There's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing. Yeah. It's amazing to me. Some of my favorite memories was 25 below zero in the middle of the woods on the Tug Hill Plateau, listening to beagles run a rabbit. And the peace and the serenity and the snow, the snow absorbs the sound, so everything's real quiet, and you get the little chickadees and the ermine and everything. It is just amazing. Outside Albany, nice. Yes, I am. I'm a little farther away from Old Forge than I used to be. I used to live in Port Leyden, which was, well, I used to be able to take Moose River Road when I was young and dumb at 8 minutes from end to end to Route 28 that goes into Old Forge. I was maybe half an hour away from Old Forge. Now I'm a little farther. Yeah, we do. We get slammed with snow. I'm on the southern tip of it, but it is snowmobile heaven up here. In fact, the seasonal road that runs in front of the homestead is a snowmobile trail in the winter, and I would have it no other way. I love it. I love having the snowmobilers going by, and it's just amazing. We did a bit of shopping, but not as much as we thought. Prices just aren't as great for us as yes. Not to get into any politics, but the United States credit rating was just downgraded again. Apparently, the people who decide our credit ratings, well, they don't pay attention to the smoke being blown about how our economy is doing great. Yeah, you're paying 3 times more for food, but yeah. Anyway, don't want to jump down that rabbit hole. But yeah, it probably used to be worth it for you to come to the States to buy stuff. We have a sled trail at the back of our homestead. It's great. I can go. Yeah, that is wonderful. We have a a huge snowmobiling trail system. Last year, the beginning of the season was really hard on the snowmobilers. It really hurt the economy. Excuse me, because I'm gonna say I am 20 minutes or so south of Boonville, which used to be the homestead capital, or yeah, the homestead capital, the snowmobiling capital of the world. Yeah, finding stuff you can't get there. I know what you're talking about. Absolutely. I know what you're talking about. All right, you have a great weekend too, Lynn. Yeah, yeah. I lived in Port Lyden, which is about 6 miles north of Boonville on Route 12, the main drag there. Uh, Most of my life, I lived in Florida for about a year and a half. Then I was in the Army for 4 years, and then I moved back to Port Lyden. Um, Look up Go Snowmobiling Ontario sometime. You can see our trail network. We have more trails than roads. Yeah, and that is awesome. Uh, Especially with the state of snowmobiling today. The state of the art snowmobiles that they've got. I remember when I was growing up, um I never really liked snowmobiles because the ones we had were the old, I don't know, you buy a $50 skidoo, one of the big round bubbled shielded thing, and you had to muscle them to turn. I never understood. There are people that there's nothing wrong with going fast, but 80 miles an hour when there's nothing between you and the tree, if you don't make the corner on a sled that doesn't turn very much, which, like I said, there's been big time advancements in that, just never really appealed much to me. Florida's nice, not much there. Yeah, I lived I lived on the north shore of Lake Kissimmee in a place called Shady Oaks. And the only excitement that was going on there, other than fishing, hog hunting, riding horses and stuff, the only really interesting stuff. Hey JMB, how's it going? Was on a place called River Ranch Resort. And I was a local, but it I always had new friends because people would come and stay for a week or a month or whatever, and there was a rodeo, and that's believe it or not, I used to wear a cowboy hat, cowboy boots. I had hair coming down to the middle of my back because I was a headbanger, I guess you would say, a metalhead. Um, and now, being a metalhead back then, now they play the music I was listening to on the classic rock station. I love my old sleds, Yamaha Bravo 650, Exciter 440, and 570. But there's a place for my new one. It's just amazing to ride, but the downside is way more complex. Yeah. If I were going to get a sled, because I don't ride recreationally, I have a four-wheeler, an ATV, and I don't ride that recreationally. I use it as a work machine. But if I were to get one, I think I would get a Tundra or similar workhorse sled for hunting and trapping and stuff like that. I would love to get into trapping. I've got so much stuff that I know how to do, that I love to do, that I don't do, that I'm hesitant to bring in something new. Does that make sense? Like I said, I have not hunted since I lived in Port Leyden. Because, well, most of my hunting party died. But Trevor and I were members of a hunting club up in High Market, New York, and it's a very, you don't see a lot of deer up there, but when you see one, they're big. I mean, I saw the biggest rack of my life while I was hunting that club. And we hunted and hunted and hunted, and with very little return, and it kind of wore us out. Started rabbit hunting, and that is just so much different. It's so much more relaxed, and don't have to worry about your scent. Don't have to worry about making a little noise once in a while. But that's all stuff that I just need to get back into hunting. That's all. I need to hunt for me. I need to hunt for subsistence. If I can get a deer with archery and muzzleloader, or muzzleloader and regular even, that will fill my freezer. I will have plenty of meat, the best meat. Another thing for winter, I plan on building some track sleds to haul fishing gear and wood, and that to keep my sleds nice. And the upside, you don't need to. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is nice. See, in the great state of New York, you have to register everything because it's just easier for them to keep track of who they have giving them money. Look up Snow Dog before you buy a snowmobile. Okay, I'll write that down. Snow Dog snowmobile. I will write that. I will try to check that out. Moose. The moose is loose in central New York. Snow Dog is a company that builds track sleds, lots of different models. I think their most expensive one is around $5,000. That's not bad. Well, welcome, Nellie on the land, listening from the UK. Welcome from across the pond. That is awesome. The wonderful thing about homesteading, and Nellie, you might have a slightly different experience with winters. We've been talking about getting ready for winter and how ready are you for winter, even though it's warm and hot. I've started cutting up the trees we fell last year for this winter's firewood. But you might have a different experience with winter and getting ready for winter, as well as harvesting our food and stuff from the gardens. But welcome. I was in the UK on a weekend pass from Germany. It was pretty different, I guess you would say. Of course, I was young and stupid, and so most of what I saw was bars and stuff like that. Because I had energy that wouldn't quit and no common sense. Another thing about track sleds, you can use them all year round. They run bogey wheels instead of slides and air-cooled engines. Nice. Yeah. Basically, we used to, back when it was legal to feed the deer in New York, Trevor and I used to, there was a place over across the road we called the Clear Cut, and we would put out corn piles in the summer just to keep the deer moving through the area. But we would keep the trails open all year just by riding them. And that was pretty interesting. And more Trevor than me. He's always been the four-wheel aficionado in the family. But yeah. And I love winter. Winter is a laid back, lazy time to relax. There's still a lot to do. This winter I want to concentrate on the inside of the cabin. You can see I got sheetrock walls. And then in the bed, well, you can't, back behind me I got paneling on the sheetrock, but in the bedroom I have my R19 wallpaper. But I was watching, I've been in the evenings watching some Homestead Rescue. And some of those people they've got the right mentality, they've got the right idea, but they're just so out of their element. They moved from like LA and lush California to the deserts of Arizona to Homestead, and you got to be a special kind of person that knows what it's like to live in the desert to be able to homestead in a desert. It's been a hot summer here, a few small breaks in the heat, but I'm already thinking way too much about, I'm looking forward to going out and sitting in the woods and waiting for this winter's dinners to walk in front of me, and for God to move my bullet from where I would miss to a hit, because I'm not a really great shot either. But I've killed a lot of deer in my time, praise God, and passed the ammunition. I bring bags of supplies to Old Forge. Deer walk right up to you. Didn't know me, or didn't know we wouldn't feed them. Whoopsie. Yeah. Old Forge is special. Old Forge is a tourist town, and they are smack dab in the middle of the Adirondacks. And they they will walk right up to you and eat out of your hand. So will the black bears, but it's not suggested. The black bears just aren't. Yeah, you don't want to play with the bears. But it's a town built with the wildlife. And it's just beautiful there. Beautiful. Sorry, wrong one. No deer here. Hare, geese, pigeons, trespassers. Not too into hunting. What part of the food pyramid is a trespasser, man? Oh. Yeah, when I say rabbit hunting, I'm talking about varying hare. Down here where I am, I'm a little bit farther south. We're starting to get into snowshoe, more of a snowshoe climate. It's a little bit nicer, but we do have bear on Tug Hill, just 2 miles that way to the left. Once you cross Route 26, you cannot hunt bear. Step across Route 26, you can hunt bear. But yes, bear are awesome. Black bear is what we have here. Thank God, because I have seen so much stuff dealing with grizzlies and brown bears. It is just Wow. Thanks all. Our winters here are not as harsh. To prep here, we just stock up, but the shops are never too far. Yeah. Yeah. That's when we bought this chunk of land, we came around the long way. I didn't know it was a long way. I was just following the map that the realtor had given me. We came around the long way. And then going out, Tammy still, she said, let's go out the other way. We'll go past my old homestead where she grew up. And we went out, and I'll be darned if I'm not, in the summer, I'm about 15 minutes from Walmart. But I got that isolation thing set up. I've got the good neighbors set up, so that, you know, if things got really bad, we could shut down this road because I'm on a seasonal road. The town really wants to turn it into a paved road, but I really don't want them to. Trespassers will be composted. I like it. I have a shirt. I think it's on Redbubble, but it might be on my spread shop. It says, my motto is shoot, shovel, and shut up. During the COVID lockdowns, Wendy had a 6 foot long by 6 foot deep hole dug, and I'm not sure why she was digging that. It couldn't have anything to do with me being 6 foot tall. There is an old trapper up the way a little. His name was Bob. He showed me how to trap and tan when I was around 8. I would go shoot and trap red squirrels and tan them and give them to him, and he gave me $5 a squirrel. Nice. Unfortunately, my brother-in-law, he traps, and he says prices have just, the bottom fell right out of the market. But he does it because he loves to do it. He loves to trap. Still a lot of trappers around here. Lots of hunting. I saw a moose the other day out from getting some brown trout not far from home. Nice. I need to go fishing. I really do. I haven't been fishing in a while. But there's just so much I need to be doing. And guys, I'll tell you the truth, man. I'll go out and I'll do stuff, and I'll come in at around 1:30, 2 o'clock, cook me something to eat, and I am whooped. I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. And I guess that once ends at around 2:30, 3 o'clock. The last homely house, Kate lives outside Hexham. Oh, okay. I've watched, there are a lot of shows where they go back into the 1800s, and they're European. I think they're British, and they go back and they live the old ways. It's some pretty interesting stuff. I love learning about anything from bushcraft to old homesteading skills to animal husbandry, all that stuff. I love learning about it. Lots of deer here too. Was logging in Clayton. When I came in the AM, there would usually be around 70 deer on the tops eating the cedar bough. Yeah, I have video of it on some of my logging. Yeah. There were places back before New York clamped down on it, and chronic wasting disease, which no offense, but I think it was just a reason to stop people from feeding because the insurance companies were having a fit. But we could go to deer yards where hunting clubs fed the deer and see hundreds of deer. Yeah, it's not worth a lot anymore. Really, only beaver is worth your time, and it's the testicles that are worth the most. They grind them up and put them in perfume to hold the smell to you, is what Bob explained to me. Yeah. And there is a gland in the anus that they make vanilla flavoring from. I'm not making this up. If you eat vanilla, there is a chance you are eating the product of a beaver anus. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? Still holding the line on the homestead, I see. Welcome, welcome. We only get trapped here because we can't yet install a quarter-mile of road, but only once a year. Yeah, you know what, man? Lock me in. If I have an excuse like that, well, gee, I'm sorry, I can't get out of the homestead. I'm happy. I am self-contained here. When I shop, I buy for the month. I have food enough here to feed 3 or 4 people for, I'm going to say, a year. Now, remember, I only eat 1 meal a day. So take, add that in where you need to. But snow me in. It's like putting a gun to my head, man. You're threatening me with heaven. Hi, I'm not. Hey, Dave. Welcome, Dave. Good to see you, my friend. Hi, I'm not worried about winter yet. Going to watch Top Fuel drag racing before it goes. Yes. Because it puts out more carbon dioxide than a cow fart, and somehow less than a private jet. Enjoy Top Fuel drag racing. That would be fun. I used to be a security guard at the New Utica Rome Speedway when I got out of college. I worked for Pinkerton Security, and man, when those stock cars would go around the track, you could just feel it in your chest. It was awesome. Yeah. I make my own vanilla extract. It's so simple. You take several vanilla beans, slice them down the long way, put them in a pint jar, cover with vodka, 80 proof or higher, so it'll keep. Close it, shake it up a couple times a week. You got vanilla extract. Awesome vanilla extract, by the way. Just be careful if grandma starts making too many cakes. Get out of that vanilla extract, woman. Yeah. It's the only way to do it. I mean, you could buy it in the stores, but you go on Amazon and you can get a handful of coffee beans, and they are vacuum sealed, and then you can re-vacuum seal them, so they'll keep for a long time. But then when you make your vanilla extract out of them, they'll last really long time. This phone. Yeah, and I have never known Hi, Richie. I have never known a time when I didn't have at least several weeks of food put away. Just look at me. I have never known hunger, not real hunger. Oh man, I'm thirsty. One bad thing around here is turkeys. You will see a few hundred in the field just picking all the freshly planted crops out. The farmer next over usually has to replant. Oh man, yeah. He should be able to get pest permits, nuisance permits, because they're decimating his crops. If not, I won't say shoot, shovel, and shut up. I would say shoot, can, freeze, or however other way you want to preserve it and shut up. Hey, Diva in the Dirt, how's Maureen doing? Good to see ya. Yep, that's exactly what I do. Vanilla ear and vodka. Beaver butt, yummy. Oh. I'm done trying to type. I understand. Hey guys, again, I just want to let you know if you type !share, Nightbot will share your channel link so that people, if they choose to, can go and check out your page. And if it's something for them, they can subscribe. And guys, if you haven't already, if you would be so kind to like this video and subscribe and hit that little notification bell so that you get notified every time I come out with new content, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Change that banner up. Oh. I have several weeks of food packed in the van for 3. Yeah. Yeah. That's you have to have something set aside. Things are going to get things are not going to get better. Okay. I know I actually lost a couple subscribers because I went into why things are not going to get better in just my opinion. And I mentioned I am a Bible believing Christian, and I lost a couple subscribers, and hopefully that doesn't offend anyone here tonight, but that's who I am. I won't shove it down your throat. I promise. You can't force anybody to believe, but things are not going to get better. I don't care who we get in the White House. I don't care who we get in Ottawa or the UK or whatever. Things are not going to rebound. We are watching the death of several countries. We are in that end phase. And I hate to be all doom. To me, it's not doom. To me, it is a fulfillment of prophecy and the beginning of a glorious section of my life. Yeah, here in Ontario, you need a special license to hunt. Yeah, I need a turkey stamp. Used to be stamps. I still have from the time I was 13 years old and was able to get my small game license to the time they went digital with the hunting licenses. You would literally get a stamp for regular season muzzle loading, archery, and and stuff. And I still have all of those. Those are probably worth some money. Some beautiful art on some of those stamps. But yeah, I need a special ticket. But I got mine before you needed a special class to take it, to get it. Wonder where I found you from. uh, yeah, yeah. Sometimes the messenger is shot, and that's okay. Um, I but look at the world around us, and look at biblical prophecy. We are right smack dab. It is going just like the birth pains of Matthew 24. There's no other place to go. Justin is single again. Who's Justin? Not that I'm in. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I changed my Facebook thing to single yet again after from I'm widowed. I guess that's same as single. I don't know. I don't know if I'm even going to worry about looking. How do you tell a woman? Picture this. Tracy's preparing for winter. And he goes online, and in his profile, searching for a date, he puts these words: I live off grid, which means that without a substantial financial investment, you will never be able to have a blow dryer or hair curler. Yeah, I don't think many girls are going to go for that. I have 1,000 watts of solar with only 800 amp hours of battery backup for the nights. I don't think that'll go over too big. But there are women out there who would do the off grid life. And I've got all the comforts at home. I have refrigerator, freezer, indoor plumbing. I have shower, running water, all that good stuff. I just had a well drilled. I got unlimited water. But I just don't know how that would fly. Telling a woman that's interested that I built my house. My wife knew she would never be able to really run a hair dryer or a thing until we got the system built up bigger. Things are only going to get worse before they get better. Right now, my plan is make as much money and become as self-sufficient as I can. Become as self-sufficient as you can. Yes. Find a currency. My suggestion would be find a currency that's not going to lose its value. There is the BRIC states, countries that are starting a currency based on gold. That will never lose its value. Precious metals will never lose their value. Dollar bills, paper currency will lose. It's been so manipulated, it will lose its value eventually. Unfortunately, it's going to get cataclysmically worse before it gets better. That's coming from a place that every prediction that it's made so far has come true 100%. It's dire here in Blighty. Many are getting away from the government. Not easy, but not. Yeah. I wish I could erase my footprint from the government. That's a horrible thing to say. I love my country. I love the United States. Heck, I love my country so much I went out and got another one because my friends from Canada, Marie-Lynn and Dave, and then they call me an honorary Canadian, and Lynn made me a t-shirt that is just wonderful. But yeah, I wish I could erase my footprint. One of the reasons I moved to where I am is because I can hide my footprint a little better. However, you're never going to be totally away from the eyes of the government. For example, the township that I live in, mailing wise, it's Ava, New York. But there's another township that I'm actually in physically that I pay taxes to. And they decided that they wanted to survey our land for taxes. So they flew a drone over everybody's land. Can you say Fourth Amendment violation? How can I feel secure in my home if I'm being spied on from the air? Anyway, getting ready for winter. It's going to be a long winter. Was it from Hudson Valley Prepper that you know me from? I'm not sure. Maybe let's see. There's the one in the Finger Lakes. I forget the name of his. Justin Trudeau. Oh, he's prime something. Sparkly socks. I always marry bald women to live off grid with. Don't tell my wife. Yeah, that could be a plus. That could be a plus. The thing is after she finds out that, okay, I'm not ramming out to go out to eat. I'm not hitting the bars, the clubs. I'm not going out dancing. I'm not going to the movie theater. I like to stay home when I can stay home. The homestead is where I want to be. Once she figures that out, maybe the hairdryer wouldn't be as important. Nice. Nice. Well, yeah, and you know, if if God brings a woman into my life, it'll be a woman. My daughter is like 38 years old. She was born in 1984. Okay. Probably try to stay a little older than her. That could be weird at family reunions if I got to. You'd be surprised, Tracy. There's a, well, yeah, and you know, hey, if you meet any, that it would probably help my side of things if they were a little blind, like white cane with a red tip blind. You know, that might help them. You know, because I got personality. Oh yes. I plan on my next addition to the solar. Right now, I just had a well drilled, and I am getting the bladder tank and all that stuff that I need for that. Because I have a dug well that I fill big 300-gallon totes with. Then I have a camper water pump that pumps from those totes. So I have running water, 50 psi, 30 to 50 psi, somewhere in there. But I just had the well drilled, a new well drilled, and because that water was more surface water, and I want good, wholesome aquifer water. And so once I recover from that, there are a couple things I want to do with the animals, a couple things I want to do with the homestead, but my next power grid addition is more solar panels. My batteries are doing really well, but in the winter, I still have to run the generator a little too often. Not sure I would do the off-grid life, but not because of the hair dryer or curler or flattener or anything like that. Well, it can be a challenge, but you know what? I mean, I thought, well, if we go off-grid, it's because I was going to die on my couch in Port Lyden, and we were homesteading. We had a beautiful garden and chickens and bees. It was on 2/3 of an acre, but we were homesteading. And but I was sitting inside watching TV all the time, and I'm got to be careful because I can fall into that same trap here off grid. I have Hulu, Netflix, Prime, Discovery Plus, Disney Plus. I got all that stuff because I need Wi-Fi. I have to have Wi-Fi, right? Yeah, the BRICS nation. Yeah. Yeah, the rainbow currency that's from the BRICS nations, I believe. I was an avid camper. I'm used to roughing it. Yeah, nice. Nice. I will sell you some Canadian money, $1 for $1.50 US. What is the exchange rate today? Maybe $1.75 for $1. Is it going down too? Unfortunately, with the drone, I didn't know about it till they sent me a letter afterwards explaining to me how they came up with my tax hike. Had I seen it, it probably would have been shot down. Unfortunately, you have to think about stuff like that nowadays because you can lose your in New York, especially. They're looking for opportunities. The government, not necessarily the sheriffs, but the governors and the government is looking for reasons to take your firearms, and shooting someone's drone with a firearm. Any felony in New York State that is committed that involves a firearm, okay? If I felony burgle someone and I have a firearm on my side, I would never do this. That's committing a felony while in possession of a firearm equals violent felony. That's not good. You lose all your guns. My wife is a diamond in the rough. She has been my rock. Yeah. My wife was like that. She was something else. Wendy was. She died of cancer 2 years ago. It was amazing. We were best friends. We could sit side by side for hours and not have to say a word, but we were still engaging each other. It's amazing when you find the right person. It is just awesome. We have a simple seep well at the top of the hill, like Jack and Jill. So in dry times, we simply siphon it down. Nice, nice. That a nice seep. My problem was we dug the well, but the seeps that were coming in the well, number one, they weren't coming in very fast at all. Number two, they were at 4 and 5 feet. That's surface water. That's water that is coming over roots and stuff. So I was constantly battling coliform. I have to think. I said the wrong word once. It didn't come out good. But yeah. So if you have a seep or a spring or something like that, that is wonderful, especially if it's at the top of the hill, so it can, you can set it up so you got running water all year long. I watch one channel, Hallmark, clean and no swearing, no sex. Hey, nothing wrong with that. $1 Canadian, 75 US. So that's like a dollar. What, $1.25 Canadian is $1 US. That is awesome. Trevor has had the itch to go back to Canada. We both are wanting to go back riding side by side. Unfortunately, right now, neither one of us can really afford it. Yeah, people, we are hemorrhaging people. I will probably die here, but there are so many things I see on the news that I say I will not comply. I moved to a 20-acre woodlot and carved a homestead out of it so that I would have firewood for heat. Try to take my try to take my wood heat. I will not comply. I will not pay someone for heat. Not living where I am, how I am. I just won't do it. No, I say no. The CAA controls the airspace here, so no shooting down. But we use birds. Marlene says, I have to go feed the rabbits for the night, getting in the rain and all. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, you have a good one, Jamie. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see. He is down by Albany. I think he's wanting to get out of the state. New York State, prepping for winter, had to throw that in. New York State we have our population concentrated in about 5 cities. New York City, Albany, Syracuse, Rochester, and Buffalo. Those 5 cities are blue. They are very liberal cities. The rest of the state is red. So basically, and this is not against liberals at all, but basically the culture of the cities is making laws and passing laws and restrictions that affect the whole state, even though there's such a different culture between the city and the rural communities. So people are trying to leave the city. Guys, I've been on here for an hour and a half. No wonder my voice is hurting. But I will talk to y'all later. I'm going to go ahead and close it down. Be safe. This is a time of year when we're starting to think winter. We're starting to work on firewood. We're starting to work on building projects before winter. We're kind of in a hurry. We're starting to hunt and fish, and hunting and fishing you can use some dangerous items doing that. Be safe out there, guys. Hey, Peter, have you received your box yet of the box of black soldier fly larvae? The UK is so compact that we are beginning to take over the councils. I know how, yeah. Yep, the city. Oh, you did get them. Awesome. Awesome. That is wonderful. I hope your chickens enjoy them. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and head out. Y'all have a great day. I don't know if Thorhaven, I don't think he's started his lives back up yet. I believe he stopped for the summer, but usually at 8 p.m. Eastern time, Thorhaven Farm has a live stream. Don't forget Remy from Rem's Family Farm has a live stream every Friday night at 8 o'clock. Back to Basics Homestead, Annie has a live stream on Sunday at 6. And they're always a load of fun. Bucket List Homestead is Saturday night. But anyway, check them all out. You guys have a great and wonderful weekend. And God bless.